Since 2012, a not-for-profit organization called CREST has been facilitating collaborative R&D activities in Malaysia. It managed to combine the resources of E&E companies and universities. CREST is backed by the Malaysian Federal Government through EPU, MITI, MOSTI, MIDA and NCIA. Over the past 10 years, CREST has facilitated the approval of Malaysian Government grants for 161 projects. The total value of these 161 projects is projected to be 205.4 million ringgit, with a 36% contribution from the Federal Government and a 64% contribution from E&E companies and universities. 2022 marks the 10th anniversary of CREST. This fourth session of the CREST Video Sessions 2022 series will showcase a few key ongoing R&D projects in Malaysia, as well as the potential benefits of these projects in the future.
Welcome to the fourth session in the CREST 2022 Video Sessions series. In the period of 2012 to 2022, CREST has overseen the successful completion of 85 R&D projects in Malaysia. As of 2022, the combined value of these completed projects is estimated to be 76 million ringgit. To date, 22 of the completed R&D projects have been implemented and 52 intellectual properties or IP applications have been filed. However, CREST's work is not done yet. We still have 41 projects that are ongoing, and the combined value of these projects is 88 million ringgit. In this session, we will review some of the more interesting ongoing projects in the CREST portfolio. For now, we categorize these projects as our unfinished business. I would like to welcome Dr. Cheok Ley Leng, the co-founder of Infinecs, Dr. Tan Chin Siong, the CEO of Terra, Prof. Dr. Zaidi Muhammad Ripin, the lecturer of mechanical engineering at USM and his very own vibration labs. So we will hear from this gentleman this morning. So maybe we can start with Prof. Dr. Zaidi. Can you tell us a little bit about the Intelligent Patient Transfer System?
Yeah, thank you, Jeff, for that introduction. Well, we are working with Freedom Medical International on development of a patient transfer device called Intelligent Patient Transfer System. Maybe most of our audience are fully aware of the challenges of patient transfer because it involves a lot of lifting and positioning of the patients. And this itself is one of the biggest risks in the nursing profession, which resulted in work-related musculoskeletal disorder, or generally identified as back pain. So FMI has approached us and CREST to come up with a project, to come up with a device that can help to mechanize and automate patient transfer system. So this intelligent patient transfer system would minimize the effort needed for lifting and positioning of patients during patient transfer. Freedom Medical International originated from Australia and under Yusuf Kaji, and they have been distributing and manufacturing medical devices in Australia and also exporting throughout the world. And now they're setting up office in Penang and starting for design and manufacture of some of the newer parts, moving their operations from China to Penang, and capitalizing on the fact that we have a lot of good engineers and researchers here to develop the product. So in terms of cost parity, that seems that Penang give them a good ground to set up the design and manufacturing operations here. And we come as a research partner to validate the design and to prove that clinically this thing brings the benefit that they will claim to come up from the use of that intelligent patient transfer system. And CREST has been supporting this project all the while.
Thank you. So yes, just to give a bit of further background, FMI or Freedom Medical has been successfully operating out of Australia, and they set up a manufacturing plant in China. When we first met them, actually we've met them together with the Director General of MOH. And it was the Director General who suggested that he set up office an R&D center in Malaysia. And at that time I was there, so he suggested, why don't you set it up in Penang and meet the ecosystem and see how you can bring up your business to a more current model which leverages on IoT, AI, and so on. So I'm very glad he took that advice. He came to Penang. He loved the idea. He loved the country. And he moved his entire family from Brisbane to Penang in order for him to set up FMI in Penang. And obviously met up with you. And now that project is ongoing. So yes. What's the stage of the project in right now?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, we are progressing well, and we are now at the prototyping stage, and we do expect to go for clinical trial or field trial sometimes in Q4 this year.
So is the client mostly hospitals, or is it beyond hospitals?
The client will start with hospitals, then move to care homes, and then and down the chain.
Okay. Fantastic. So, what else can you share? Is there anything else that you think you want to share with regards to this project? Are you happy with it?
I think from academic point of view, I mean, this is the culture that I think we need to make it more common with the university and to bring that research to another level. The problem with research is to find context of research. Context means how do you apply and how do you complete the value chain of the research. So we have researchers which is not in contact with the market, and therefore it doesn't really influence the economy of the country. So there's a lot of wasted effort if you leave it at that point. So to connect these dots and to bring it to the market, you really need everybody to work together. And I think this is the value that I learned from this project, which I like to share with a lot of people.
Thank you. You are a serial collaborator with CREST, and you have some other projects that you've been working with and with some other clients apart from medical, the medical field. So I'm happy to hear. Maybe you just want to give a quick rundown of the kind of clients that you are facing now that you've been working with CREST.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, so now my secret is out. We've got a lot of projects with CREST, and with Motorola, we were working on the cancellation of noise. With Dyson, we were working on trying to reduce the noise level of the vacuum cleaners. And with SAS, we are working on applying big data for stroke rehabilitation projects. So a lot of work is going on. And I believe that we bring value to the companies when we work with them.
Thank you so much, Prof. So now let's turn our attention to our other guest, which is someone who is responsible for a project. He is also a serial collaborator with us. I was joking with Mr. Tan. Maybe if we have a loyalty program, if you complete 5 projects, you might get something at the end of it. So, yeah, Mr. Tan, maybe you can give us a quick introduction of Terra Phoenix, and maybe also a quick background on the projects that you've been involved with at CREST.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Thanks a lot. Terra Phoenix actually was a spin-off from MMU, Multimedia University, Cyberjaya campus. Yeah, I was a professor, associate professor of Faculty of Engineering, and 10 years ago, that I was one of the lucky guys that we received CREST support to develop our first generation prototype of hybrid Wi-Fi. And of course, we continue to develop it using our research grant and our research lab. And until December 2020, we landed another agreement with CREST for our second time, which is our Generation 3 prototype. And this prototype have a technology level 8 now, which we see a lot of breakthroughs for the last 1 year. Yeah. And for this particular project, I would really thank CREST for this continuous support. And we see a major breakthrough here, which will significantly change the world of telecommunication.
Fantastic. Maybe for the benefit of the audience, can you briefly tell us what is this project and what does it do for the everyday person?
Yeah. So the project title is Hybrid Visible Light Communication Indoor Wireless System for Location-Based Services. And to make it simple, we actually developed a hybrid prototypes that enable everyone to go to the internet at 5G speed, which is using light as a medium. And why we have to do that now, not 10 years ago? Actually, these particular technologies are already there. It's just a matter of commercially, it was not viable without 5G requirement. And today, if you look at every handphone, our demand per device is about 30 megabit per second or above. Compared to 5 years ago, each phone only required 5 megabit per second. And we all know that heading to 5G, there is more and more data demand. And yet, 5G system is still cannot push out to the market easily because of the cost of investment and as well as the complication in the 5G infrastructures. So far, globally, only China and Korea, a handful of countries, managed to penetrate through their 5G investment and as well as installation. Unfortunately, this is not affordable to most of the country, including our own country. So the alternative, which is more cost-effective, is using light. Yeah, and visible light is everywhere, and it's already available, and it's cost-effective. So one of the things that breakthrough here is we combine the hybrid system in order to complement 5G, where we can implement it at least on an indoor environment, basement, car park, museum, hotels, all kind of requirements that require safer transmission, such as only visible light without the 5G millimeter wave, and cost-effective installation where light can be easily transmitted and easily available, and also much more faster because light is 1,000 times the data speed of a radio frequency.
Okay, thank you. What are some of the key applications that you feel is going to come out from this project?
Yeah, we have been talking to our potential clients globally, not just in Malaysia as well, and in other countries, such as hotels, exhibition centers, museums. They have a lot of interest and they keep on coming to us and waiting for us to launch our first products. And we are expecting to launch our products in August 2022 this year.
Okay. And who are the potential customers from this project?
We have a few 5-star hotels. One of them is the chain of Sangarila, and another one is a chain of Hilton Hotel. So those high-end hotels and as well as museums, they are probably our first client.
Wonderful. But what do you think is the value of this product in the marketplace? What, if you can venture a guess, what would you say is the value?
Yeah, because we are going into a mass market, which consumers are using our system. So the market potential is actually tremendous. We are talking about indoor usage, and based on the assumption and also the market survey, the total project's market potential is close to $500 billion globally.
I see.
Yep.
And you mentioned to me earlier that you have some patents that you are filing with us?
Yes. Total, there are already 4 patents, and one of the earlier one, and together with the current 3. So these 3 patents we are filing in Malaysia and as well as overseas.
Okay, fantastic. Wonderful. I'm very excited with your project as well as Prof. Zaidi's project. So perhaps now that you are both here, what's next? What are you planning to do after this?
Yeah, for me now, we as a team, now we are going into our first commercial funding, which is a seed fund stage, that we are going to launch our first products in the market second half this year. And then with this funding, we are pushing very quickly to a few countries that we want to make sure that we are dominant in this area in terms of patents and IPA rights, and as well as market coverage.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Prof. Zaidi, what's next for you with your project?
Yeah, We are now at a very exciting stage because of the work conducted with FMI. We are now exposed to an opportunity to really transform the hospital. We call it the hospital of the future. The hospital of the future is where the nurses would be assisted by a lot more of machines and robots for patient transfer. And we are looking at several other machines now as a spin-off from the current project. And when we look at the literatures and the products available in the market, there's room for us to go in. And hopefully we can work together with FMI because of their access to the market to assist us in developing new products using the same technology.
Yeah, in my discussion with Yusuf, he was talking about exoskeletons and new materials in order for us to help the care workers, not just in the hospital, but even the care homes and so on, to help patients move around and be more in a natural way, as opposed to the current way, which is using hoist and everything.
If I may add, Jeff, the biggest opportunity here is because even though the solutions are local, the problem is really global. So
yes,
the
it is.
access to the global markets is huge. And that's why I'm so excited about doing this kind of research. There are not that many research where you can do locally and have a global impact. And I do wish that Malaysia will become a center for patient transfer technology based on this will become is a nucleus to that.
Okay, so perhaps we can get a few words from Dr. Tan on your experience working with CREST and how has that experience been for you?
Yeah, actually, I would like to highlight two significant features that CREST already have as a part of the DNA, which I think I have been working with many countries and many funding agencies, which CREST was so unique. The first one is the CREST personnel are very clear on the processes and as well as the principles of research funding. So that clear understanding was not available elsewhere, I can tell you, because I have been going through many countries and many agencies. That professionalism is one of the highest, I will say it the highest in terms of every level, to executive levels, clerical levels, and as well as the top management who look at our projects. And the professionalism of the principle of funding and research funding is just perfect. Yeah, to me, CREST professionalism is one of the highest thing I can see in CREST DNA. And the second thing is CREST actually focus on patents and as well as IP's rights. This is something which not available, and I think I don't need to mention that. The whole country know about that. So CREST actually give us a lot of support, funding, and as well investment in patents. And this is very, very important for a commercial spin-off like us from the university. So these two things, and in the CREST DNA, I would say it's a God arrangement. It is something, thanks a lot, really. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Dr. Tan. Perhaps Prof. Zaidi, do you have any thoughts on your experience working with CREST?
Yeah, there are many, but I follow Dr. Tan. I'll limit to two. The first one, I think, is, as I said earlier, the context of research, which is the biggest thing that you want to do in research is you want the research that you carried out is impactful to the world. So the transient nature of our life in this earth, that whatever we do, we really hope that it brings benefit to the people. And that coupling with the industry is a very important part because it gives you perspective and it gives you scope. The second one is that the kind of discipline that is being instilled when we work with our industry partners because of the nature of the work and the milestones and the time. As Dr. Tan said, it's a professionalism that we know that we have to stick with whatever promises that we made. And these are the things that keep the researchers on tour. Be it bad or good, that's another issue, but it really makes sure that the chances are it favors the researchers that the project will be complete on time and on cost. And that to me is a practical good that came and I learned from CREST. And I really cherish this kind of experience. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prof. Coming back to the world of R&D in integrated circuits, we have an ongoing project that focuses on radio frequency energy harvesting. Dr. Chok Lei Leng, please provide us with some insights about your R&D project.
All right. Currently, we have collaborative projects together with CREST and also the other partners in the academia, primarily USM, UM, and the APU, working on a project called the 5th generations wireless sensors node applications. The title of the project is to create an IC, which is integrated circuit for the applications such as the RF energy harvesting systems. In short, is integrated with the integration for the 5G wireless sensor node devices. Essentially, is to solve to develop a high efficient integrated multi-band RF energy harvesting system for 5G wireless sensors applications. The scope and encapsulate the development of a new circuit design to achieve high harvesting sensitivity through Q factor improvement, efficiency enhancement by reducing the forward conductions and leakage current of the RF DC rectifier, and to reduce the power consumptions of the power management unit. In short, basically, this is a way to have a very low cost energy harvesting system for low power sensor-based application that's essential in the Internet of Things. Perhaps it's a new way to harvest energy, and hopefully in the future to replace the battery-operated application, which is essential in the IoT applications.
So I take it that it is energy saving by harvesting energy from around it. So it doesn't require as much energy from another one that is an equivalent that doesn't have the energy harvesting.
Yeah. Well, to find an alternative way to harvest energy and then to reuse energy is actually consider and also applications for renewable energy. The advantage is we can find a breakthrough is that we can reduce the usage of batteries. As you know, that battery also contribute to a waste. Is considered electronic waste too, which can be very harmful for the environment. So I think research like this can be extremely meaningful. Working with CREST, I think we ought to find ways to. It's not just doing the research, finding new application, but we must also lead to commercializations. I think this is where CREST creates the platform for collaborations between, or rather among the industry players, as well as the academia, and then with the intervention of the government, or support by the government. I think CREST can be will be an excellent platform for projects. For innovations that will bring benefits to the enhancing or strengthening the ecosystems, in particularly of the E&D industries. So
okay, and who are the potential clients for this for the end result, for the outcome of this project?
Potential clients are mostly targeting applications, healthcare, sensor-based applications. Once you get a platform ready, you can go target into many different applications. Applications where we try to reduce the usage of batteries, because battery you need to recycle them, you need to replace them. So if you have a sensor that is in the remote area, where or even out in the open field, replacement of the batteries become quite cumbersome. Yeah, it's a very expensive exercise. So hence you need to find a very low cost application methods actually to be able to still do your IoT applications. So I think this opens up opportunities whenever there are challenges, and the challenges then is an opportunity to find innovative approach to complete the create the applications or create the solutions to solve the issue. So the application can be pretty broad now. We talk about wearable computing for example, so for a long time. Wearable means you must be able to carry everywhere, but you also don't want to carry batteries everywhere too. So things like that, allows us heart monitoring examples. I think the medical applications could be very, very interesting. I mean, moving forward, they are looking at projects to complete by full completion by June 2023, actually. So there will be the deliverables will include the fully developed prototype of high efficiency integrated radio frequency energy harvesting circuits and capable of harvesting 3 frequency spectrum. So you do one, you do 2, and then after that, the target is to complete 3. And then publish papers, and then hopefully we will be able to submit 2 IPs for patenting and all that. So I think it's good to have that kind of target. So yeah.
That's all we have the time for today. We have just reviewed 4 interesting ongoing projects among 41 that are being conducted under the CREST banner as of May 2022. R&D projects and programs are always exciting at the beginning, with the prospect of breaking new ground in the field of technology. However, there must be a very practical outcome. So, at CREST, we not merely issue federal government grants and oversee the completion of R&D projects in Malaysia, we also focus on real-world implementation as well as the filing of patents and IPs. We help inventors, researchers, and scientists to commercialize their work so that the fruits of their labor may be shared in Malaysia and possibly throughout the world. For CREST, real-world applications and commercialization marks the end of any R&D journey. In the past 10 years, CREST has invested 25.7 million ringgit in government grants into R&D projects. The projected business yield of our 85 successful projects stands at 266.5 million ringgit. This means that CREST has generated 13.8 times return for every ringgit spent in government funding. There is more to come from our ongoing projects. In our next and last CREST 2022 video session, we will talk to some key leaders of major MNCs and some new up-and-coming exciting companies operating in Malaysia about future prospects and their viewpoint on how CREST can do more for Malaysia. For more information about CREST, please visit our website, crest.my.